So hi out there in FlossTube land, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. I just got done recording my main video portion of this week's installment of my FlossTube video. I just wanted to come with a small brief introduction just to let you know that I'm going to be attaching a video, hopefully, that I recorded about a week or so ago showing some of my haul. I wanted to get the haul video recorded because I just kind of wanted to put the stuff away and just kind of get it out of the way and not have to sit on it until I got ready to do this video for you that I am also including on this episode. So anyway, just sit back, relax. This is going to be over an hour, so grab something to drink or grab your stitching and sit back, relax, and enjoy my next video installment. Hi friends, it's good to see you. Enjoy! Hey friends, it's me again. Just one quick little update. I've added another video to the end of this episode for you that if you follow me on Facebook, you know that my mom, my husband, and I, we tend to do like these goofy taste test videos where we taste test some stuff that we found. And one of the popular things is for us to find those goofy flavored candies that everybody has, like, you know, the turkey dinner candy corn and stuff like that. Well, I have a little video snippet that I've attached at the end of this video as well. That is another one of our taste test videos. And it stars my mom, my husband Dylan, and I. And we found something for you that is really kind of interesting. So, look forward to that at the end of my cross stitch video. So that's just another little snippet that you can watch out for. So yeah, watch out for that. It's a little Easter egg at the very end. All right, see you soon. Bye. So hi FlossTube friends, this is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Saturday, February 19th. At approximately, I'm guessing, like probably 10:30 p.m. Eastern time. Let me dig out my phone. 10:40 p.m. Eastern time, and I'm coming to you today from a different location. You can see the red lights kind of flashing behind me. I am in our craft room, which is in the front of our house, and that window is the front of the house. This window, I have another window over here. That is the other corner, so you can see my neighbor's house. And if I'm looking weird, I don't know what my camera's down over on this side, and I tend to look over here because that's where my camera is on my laptop. So if I'm not looking at you, I'm really sorry. Just coming to you today with a little bit of a haul, so to speak. I just kind of wanted to record this so I can just kind of put everything away and not forget about doing this. So, stopped by my local needlework shop on my anniversary on Thursday. My husband and I celebrated our 26th wedding anniversary on Thursday, so it was a really nice time. We went out to the Melting Pot for dinner, which is a fondue restaurant, and they stopped by my local needlework shop here in Columbus, Cross My Heart Limited, and I picked up some stuff on Thursday. So, one of the newest things I got was Mirabillias, the Snow Maiden. Look how pretty she is, you guys. Sorry about the glare. It is dark outside, but I got Mirabillias Snow Maiden. Picked up the pattern for her. I haven't picked up any Mirabillias in a while just because I kind of have stopped collecting them. And, well, not really stopped. I haven't purchased any in a really long time. So this is my first Mirabillia purchase in a very long time. I have quite a selection of them to stitch. So, yeah. All right. So that is that. And then Carol Grant, one of the co-owners of my local needlework shop here in town, she has a cross-stitch pattern design company named Fireside Originals, and she has a series of chicks that she's been releasing this year. This is the winter, a couple of winter chicks So I did pick up some of the specialty flosses, the ones in the bags here, like Mermaid, Weeks Mermaid, and Coal. I had on hand. This is also bittersweet, but these loose ones up here are ones that I picked up new. So I have chalk. It calls for chalk, dark chocolate, which I didn't get, fragrant cloves, parchment, pineapple, sherbet. Oh goodness, sorry about that, you guys. So I'm gonna pull out the new ones. So this is chalk. I got 2 of those because the chicks use a lot of it. So I have 2 things of chalk to add to my collection. I already have a lot of chalk, but they're in other projects right now. This is pineapple sherbet. This light in here is going to wash it out. This is kind of a very pale yellow. This one is called Fragrant Cloves. It's a very nice pumpkin-y orange. This one is Parchment. It's kind of a very cream off-white. Parchment. And then we have Weeks Whitewash, which is another kind of off-white color. I don't know if you'll be able to see the difference between whitewash and a pineapple. You can kind of see a little bit of a difference. There is, down here, you can kind of tell there's a little bit of a difference in there. So, anyway, those are for Fireside Originals Easter Chicks. So, yeah, and I don't know if my camera will flip it automatically. I don't know. So, if these look backwards, if the things look backwards to you, I'm really sorry. But anyway, the other thing I got, so this a couple of winter chicks. The called for fabric is 32 count sea spray linen from Witchelt. I did pick up a piece of 32 count sea spray linen to do these on. So hopefully they'll be a quick stitch. I don't know if I'll get them stitched earlier this year or later this year. But this is a really pretty piece of sea spray. It's a really pretty color. Really pretty. Looking forward to getting these done. I also placed my order for Nashville Market. Nashville Market is coming up the first weekend in March. And it is for designers and fabric dyers and all that kind of good stuff, and shop owners. It's not necessary. It's not a market for the general public. But anyway, that is basically all my haul for this week. So that's all I have for you. I'm hoping that I remember that I have this little video snippet for you when I do my regular FlossTube update. I've been working on a couple pieces. Hold on just a minute. So if you watched my, I am wearing my Ohio Roller Derby sweatshirt. Thank you. Ohio Roller Derby is not currently having games or matches or bouts. They are just getting to the point where they're, where they're starting to get back to practicing. I still don't know yet if I will be going back to the league. A couple of the non-skating officials and the head NSO has asked me to come back this year. It's been since 2018 since I've been affiliated with the league, but I don't know if I will because it's a time commitment, and if their scrimmages are on Thursday nights, I'm not going to be able to make it. So because of bell choir. But anyway, those of you that watched my last video know that I was working on a crochet blanket, the edging, a crocheted edged blanket, fleece blanket for my very own blanket, which is an organization here in Columbus that provides blankets to the kids in foster care, to the youth in foster care. And I finished the edging on my blanket, and I started edging another blanket. I finished the edging on that Friday night, and I started another one. So I have this Hello Kitty. I'm a big Hello Kitty fan, if you haven't guessed. But I started the edging on this Hello Kitty blanket here. So I am doing yellow edging right now. I'm not very far on it. I've only got part of an edge stitched here. But yeah, I'm putting the edging on another Hello Kitty blanket. And then I'm hoping to donate 3 or 4 blankets by the end of the month. So that way, it might be actually 5. It depends on if I decide to just tie a couple of the other blankets. But anyway, I'm going to be able to donate my first 3 to 5 blankets, maybe 6, here in another week or 2, and I'm really excited about that. My plan is to go to the My Very Own Blanket location, which is about 2 miles up the road from me, probably on one of my days off. If I don't go Monday, which is President's Day here in Columbus, if I don't go Monday to take them, it will probably have to be some other day when I just go in, when I log into work late, or run some other errands as well. But My Very Own Blanket, they have basically like office hours from 9 to noon or 9 to 1, something like that. And you can go in and make blankets and do kind of, volunteer stuff for them. So I may just take a couple hours and go make a couple of blankets while I'm there. I don't know yet. But anyway, I am working on a second crocheted blanket so far this year. And hopefully I'll be able to take a couple other tied ones there. So anyway, that's the only update I have. It's about 10 minutes. So hopefully in the next week or so, I will be able to, next weekend, record another video for you. These lights, they're one of those projection lights that you can stake in your yard. And we are actually able to change the colors on these, so we can make them different colors. For Christmas, we had blue and white. These are red because we have icicles hanging around our front door and the other side of our house, across our living room window, that we're also able to change the color and the patterning and everything like that. So we pretty much leave them up year round and just change the colors. So the ones around the door are pink and red, and the ones further down are just red, but they fade in and out. So we have, pink and red across the front of our house for Valentine's Day. Coming up for St. Patrick's Day, we're going to change them to green. So anyway, that's all I have for you this week. And thanks for the update. Talk to you soon. Bye. Hello, FlossTube friends. This is Tina Frazier coming to you from Columbus, Ohio. Today is Thursday, March 3rd at approximately 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time, coming to you today with a FlossTube update. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for stopping by. This is my channel where I talk mostly about cross stitch, but I also talk about other crafts I do, like crochet, diamond painting, and whatever paper crafts I do. I also talk a little bit about some of my other hobbies, like ghost hunting and stuff like that. So if you're interested in any of that stuff, I encourage you to stick around. Hopefully you'll find something here that you'll like, and that will encourage you to maybe try something new if you haven't ever done any of these things before. If you're a returning watcher, thank you very much for coming back. It's always great to see friends stop in. Hopefully you have found something in this video that you will like, and you'll keep coming back for some more. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you very much for subscribing. It's always great to spend time with some great friends, and hopefully this video will continue to fill whatever it is that I bring to your life. So welcome. If you haven't subscribed yet, I encourage you to click the subscription box below, and also click the notification bell so you'll be notified when I upload new content. I've been trying to do these about every 2 weeks. I'm a little behind. I should have done one over this past weekend, but life kind of got in the way, and everything like that. So I'm a little bit late, but here I am. So today's video is going to be just a little bit about kind of a little bit of February wrap up and March plans. Because I didn't do a whole lot of actual stitching the second half of February. Well, I did, but I can't really show you the actual piece I was working on at the end of February. If you've watched my last couple of videos, I talk about going to StitchCon in Cincinnati, Ohio in June. StitchCon is a stitching retreat that is put on by Keepsakes Cross Stitch, which is a needlework shop down in the Cincinnati area of Ohio. Bear with me just a minute. I gotta add a little bit of stuff. I cannot find it. Anyway, it is a stitching retreat hosted by Keepsakes Cross Stitch down in Cincinnati, Ohio. And Keepsakes puts on this convention. They started the convention about 4 or 5 years ago to bring those cross stitchers who publish content on YouTube, also known as FlossTube, and their fans together for a stitching event weekend. Hold on just a minute. Oh, there we go. I found some. Yay, I don't have to pause. But anyway, so they the event has been growing every year. In 2020, they couldn't host the convention because of the pandemic. Everything was shut down. In 2021, they decided to reduce the size of StitchCon, but host it over 2 weekends. That way they can have less people, but have more people in total attend the event. So they decided to host it over 2 weekends in 2021. Again, in this year for 2022, they are hosting it over 2 weekends. It's 2 weekends in June. And you had to be on the waiting list and had to get invoiced and had to pay your invoice in order to be considered an attendee. This year, this was, I think, the 3rd year or 4th year maybe that I was invoiced to go to StitchCon. Really surprised me because I didn't think I'd get an invoice this year. But I was invoiced for Weekend B, and I decided when I got the invoice that I would just go. I got the invoice in December when I went, the weekend I went to Stitching in the Springs retreat in Yellow Springs, Ohio. And I was really kind of happy that I got the invoice, so I went ahead and paid it. I figured I'd go this year since I have the opportunity, I have the money, and it would give me a chance to see a bigger stitching convention or stitching retreat. I've been to a couple of smaller ones now, and I really like the small ones. They're really nice. You can talk and stitch and chat, but I just kind of wanted the experience of StitchCon at least once. So I decided to go this year, and so I have been working on my StitchCon Smalls Exchange, and I will hopefully be able to show you. I kind of created a design. I'm not going to show you too much of the actual design, but I can show you a little bit. So this is part of my design here that you can see. You're not going to be able to kind of figure out what I'm doing, but that is part of my actual homegrown design for StitchCon. My small I am stitching, I can show you this. So this is my StitchCon small piece. Here is the fabric. Here is a little bit of what it is. This is the back. So I can't show you the front because it'll give it away. I don't want to show you any of this piece before StitchCon, because if you're going to StitchCon Weekend B in June, I want you to be a little surprised. But this is a personally designed small. This is being stitched on a piece of 40 count color and cotton fabric in Pixie. Oh, I believe this is 36 count. I'm sorry, it's Edinburgh 36 count. Hand-dyed linen in the colorway Pixie by Color and Cotton. So whoever gets this piece, it's really cute. I'm having fun stitching it. I am doing over one stitching on 36 count. It's been kind of interesting. But yeah, I really like the piece. I really like the fabric. Hopefully they'll like my theme for my StitchCon Smalls. I have a couple of items that are supposed to be delivered here that I ordered to go in my StitchCon Small bag with my piece. So hopefully whoever gets it is really interested in it. I kind of hemmed and hawed a little bit about what I was going to stitch for StitchCon, and I got this idea and kind of mashed up some things together and put this design together. So the reason why you're only seeing the fabric is because I don't want the person who might be looking for my personal design for StitchCon Weekend B, I don't want them to get any idea of what it would be and what they might be looking for when they go to look for my small at the Smalls Exchange at Weekend B and StitchCon. So that is kind of what I was working on. I was working on this pretty much the last 10 days or so. I spent like 2 or 3 days designing the pattern. I was using pencil on graph paper. I have this really small graph paper. These are 10 squares to the inch graph paper. And I was using pencil and just kind of drawing things, getting some ideas. I went through about 4 pages of it, and I ended up with a pattern that is essentially this big. The pattern is 2 pages on this size thing, but it actually stitches up on the 36 count. It ends up being, the total stitch count is only 49 wide by 59 high. On 36 count it isn't that big, so it's just under 4 inches tall, about 3.5 inches tall by 2 1/4 inches wide. So it's pretty small on 36 count. But yeah, I'm looking forward to finishing this up, getting it fully finished. I have an idea how I want to finish this. So yeah, and this is in a like a 6x8 Q snap. So yeah, yep, it's in a 6x8 Q snap. But again, I'm stitching my StitchCon Small on color and cotton hand-dyed fabric. Colorway is Pixie, and it's Edinburgh 36 count linen. So I'm looking forward to getting this ready for StitchCon in June. I've got quite a bit stitched on it, and I'm looking forward to completing it soon. I'm hoping to put together a video for you, kind of showing you my process and everything, and putting in pictures and stuff like that. I've been kind of sort of trying to remember to take pictures along the way in my process, but so hopefully I'll have a video for you after StitchCon showing you the progress and how I actually finished my StitchCon Small, and then maybe some pictures from StitchCon showing me with the recipient of my prize. So not much else is happening. I got my order in with Cross My Heart. Cross My Heart's my local needlework shop here in Columbus. They are in Nashville this weekend for the Nashville Needlework Market, and I have my pre-order in for some of the charts that I'm hoping to get from Nashville. So hopefully in another couple weeks I'll have a haul video to show you from Nashville Needlework Market. I'm looking forward to that. One of the things I got this week, those of you that have watched some of my more recent videos, including my interlude videos around Christmas time, where Mom and I were opening up the Moe's Sale 12 Days of Christmas packages, I ordered some fabric that was hand-dyed by Moe's Sale this last, not this just past weekend, but the weekend before. And it came 2 days ago, and it is very pretty. So this was dyed by Maiden Pilardi Knapp on the Moe's Sale Facebook group. Moe's Sale is where they post all the hand-dyed flosses and fabric that they have. This colorway is called Blue Topaz, and it's a piece of 40 count linen, and it's beautiful. So it's beautiful. It's browns and turquoise. That is a really good representation of the color of the fabric, you guys. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? I don't know yet what I'm going to stitch on it, but yeah, really pretty. So I don't really have any other haul to show you per se that I have down here. The rest of this video is just going to kind of be telling you about my March plans, because I have lots of March plans. So yeah, that is basically all the haul that I got. I have yet to receive my March Go Around Toten Bags Grime Guard of the Month. I should be getting those relatively soon. I'm looking forward to getting the one for March. Can't wait. And that being said, we will actually get into March plans. So I have my clipboard of wonderful stuff, my stitch tracking board. I keep, this is a tracker that I found online that has 3 months worth of dates on it. The dates colored in here are holidays and days that I have off. So I have the 18th. The 17th is St. Patrick's Day of March. The 18th is my 51st birthday. And I have that following Monday off. So I have 2 days off in March, off of work. So looking forward to doing that. And this kind of shows you all my stitching. But you can see down here that in February, I spent several days designing. I also was designing in here, designing my StitchCon Small for StitchCon and stitching on my StitchCon Small. And also up here, I worked on the StitchCon Small the first day of the month, and I picked up a new Mill Hill kit, Baby Jesus. I will be talking about that here in a little bit with my kind of plans and everything going forward. So that is basically all I've been doing this, the last couple of weeks since my last video, is stitching on my StitchCon Small, more or less. So for the month of March, we got the Whip Go. We got the Whip Go numbers for March. For those of you that don't know, Whip Go was created by a person here on YouTube by the name of Jessie Marie Does Stuff. She created Whip Go as a way to get herself motivated to work on some of her whips. It's like bingo. So you have basically a bingo board with 25 squares. And once a month, she randomly draws 2 numbers on her bingo board. And whatever project is in that square for that month, that's what she focuses on. Now, that is the general idea of Whip Go, but you can pretty much do Whip Go any way you want. So here's my Whip Go board. The numbers that were called were 15, square 15 over here, which for me is Amid Amish Life. And down here, number 21, which is Long Dog Samplers. Now you can see I have the 2 purple squares. These were the January squares. They are filled in because they are both completed. So I completed the first January square, January 15th, and I completed the second January square, January 22nd. For February, we had square number 5, which for me was a full coverage piece of choice, Whip or New Start, and Stitchrovia's Let It Snow. My goal with the Stitchrovia Let It Snow was to finish it for the year. I came nowhere close to doing that, so therefore that square is still not filled in. And I also did not pick what my full coverage piece was going to be for this square. So therefore those squares are also still ongoing. My goal is just to finish these goals on these different projects by the end of the year. So I don't have to finish them in the month they're called. I can finish them early if I want. But I have to work on Amid Amish Life this month and Pandemic, Long Dog Samplers Pandemic. That hasn't come out in a little while. I haven't worked on that for several months. So that is my Whip Go board for 2022 and where I'm currently at. All right. So Steel City Stitchers, who are a group of ladies here on YouTube that also do cross stitch videos. They have come up, this is I think the second or third year that they are doing this, but they have come up with a kind of a challenge that is called March Madness. Now you all are familiar with March Madness for basketball. It's the same kind of thing. They created a bracket, like basically an 8-team bracket, 8 teams, where they take 8 projects, 8 cross-stitch projects, and they pit them up against each other, and they pick a winner. And then, so, you know, you get the breakdown. So they have the March Stitchy Madness bracket on their YouTube video. I will put the link to their YouTube video that has the bracket link down below, and it talks about March Stitchy Madness. But I decided this year that I was going to kind of participate in March Stitchy Madness. So as you can see, here is my bracket for March Stitchy Madness. So how it typically works is you pick 8 projects. They have the bracket set up where you pick 4 whips and 4 new starts. You can do it all whips, you can do it all new starts, you can do it any combination of the like. I decided to keep it with 4 whips and 4 new starts, and you pick your whips and your new starts. Now you can do this any kind of way. A couple of the ladies on Steel City Stitchers are posting their projects and pictures of their projects on Instagram and having their followers vote which one advances to the next bracket. Some of them are stitching on some of them each day. Like, so the first day of the month would have been this whip right here. Second day, third day, fourth day, fifth day, sixth day, seventh day, 8th day. So on the first 8 days of March, they will get to stitching on all their projects. They will touch all the projects in this first bracket. Some of them are doing whichever project gets the most stitches, moves on to the next, wins and moves on to the next bracket. And then the ones that don't move on, they just don't touch them for the rest of the month. The whole goal is to get to this project, and the original idea of the bracket was to get to this project and finish this project by the end of the month. I'm not going to do that because I've kind of derailed myself. I had to work a little extra tonight because of some issues going on family-wise. And so I had to work extra tonight, and I'm not in the mood really to get into stitching my mid-Amish life for tonight. So I'm kind of doing mine a little different. So if you see up here, I have put D20 for every 20 stitches. So I'm going to keep track of the number of stitches that I do for each of my projects here. And for every 20 stitches I put in on each project, I'm going to roll a D20 for that project. And I'm going to add those up, and that's going to be that score for this first bracket. So I'm going to use a D20 for every 20 stitches for this first bracket. Once I have the totals, the winner with the most points will move over to this line. And the other one is just, you know, I put away for the month. So the winner will move over to this line. Now, I don't yet have my winner for this because I just decided on this process of picking my winner by using a 20-sided dice to pick the winner. So I'm just going to keep track of the stitches, and then when I get ready to start the next bracket, I'm going to, you know, tally up their scores, pick the winners, move the winners over. Then for this second bracket here, I'm going to be rolling a D12. Now I don't know if I'm going to be rolling a D12 for every 10 stitches, a D12 for every 20 stitches. I have no idea. I have no idea what I'm going to do. But I'm just going to roll a 12-sided dice for these here to pick my winner, to go over to here. Once I get to here, I'm going to be rolling a D6 for every batch of stitches I do. And then I'm going to pick my winner, and then I'm going to try and see how far I can get on my bracket. So you see here, the first bracket is I've called Small Punches. I am doing my StitchCon Small and the Mill Hill Baby Jesus. I already showed you my StitchCon Small. So here is the Mill Hill Baby Jesus kit. It comes with the perforated paper, the beads, the floss, needles. This was day number 2. So for my Stitch Con Small on the first day of March, I put in 92 stitches in that piece. So I managed to work on this last night, kind of late at night, and I put in 85 stitches. Okay, so here is Baby Jesus. This is Baby Jesus's wrap. This is Baby Jesus's wrap. His swaddling clothes, I guess you would call it. So yeah, that is my start for the Mill Hill kit. That is where I'm at. Yay! So this can go away until day 9 or 10 when I decide to move. Probably day, because I'm already a day behind, so it's going to be at least day 9, March 9th, before I'm able to get back to the winner of this bracket to stitch on. So anyway, I'll do this later. All right, so this next on my bracket. So the second bracket is what I'm calling Amish Advancing. So I have Amid Amish Life and a pattern, a new start for me called Evening Feed. That is by Diane Gravener. Some of you that have been around cross-stitching for a while are probably familiar with Diane Gravener. She does a lot of the faceless Amish kids in the Amish outfits, like the Amish bonnets and dresses and stuff. So this is my Amish Advancing bracket, my Amid Amish Life piece, and Evening Feed will be going up against each other. Here is my Amid Amish Life. So this was in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine from 1987. It was published in 3 parts. Let me see, which one is it? That's that one. So it's going to be in here. So all 3 parts were published in Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine. Oh, come on. There we go. Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazine, January, February. Maybe it was February, March. January, February, March, April, May, June, 1997. Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. There you go. This is the 3rd iteration, or the 3rd piece. It was published in 3 pieces. So, let me get to the page. Do they have it in here in one big color piece, or is it the other one? All right, it is in the other one. One of the other 3. Sorry about this. If you watch Blitz Stitch, all right, so this doesn't have the color piece. Maybe it does. Maybe I'm lying to you. I don't know. Nope, the color piece isn't, the full color piece isn't in here. But this is Amid Amish Life. You can see it comes in 3 pieces. I am squishing all 3 pieces together into one big piece, because I do have all 3 patterns. This was the piece I started with. This was the side I started with. So you will see here in a minute where I am. I started this piece, I don't have when I started this piece. It's been 3 years, about 3 or 4 years ago now, because I took it to my first stitching retreat for my local needle workshop in fall that year. So it's been about 3 years or so since I started. So this is on a piece of, I want to say it's 32 count linen that is kind of dyed to look like sky. So as you can see, this is where I am.
So I am stitching this. So my next piece that I work on will be this piece. So I have a potential of doing all kinds of stuff because on this piece in one night. So you can see here there is a lot of fill-in in the house. The house is all white and the siding is backstitched. So if you look where I'm at, you can see I have the potential of filling in a lot of white in the house. It's going to be very boring, but I have the potential of filling it all in. So this one has a potential of moving on, although I don't know. But anyway, so that is my third piece in March Stitchy Madness. All right, let me take a little bit and get all this kind of back in here, so I don't drive myself crazy trying to figure this out later. The piece of fabric that I'm doing it on, I just saw that, sorry. So the piece that I have, the piece of fabric I have for it is 32 count Mercedes Lugana by Picture This Plus. Okay, so there you go. Sorry about that. I wasn't intending to do any editing, but I'm going to have to now because I showed you the pattern, unfortunately. There we go. If you watch a lot of FlossTube and you're looking for somebody else to watch, if you go to Blitz Stitch here on YouTube, Blitz Stitch actually is, I think, either finished with this now or really close to finishing. He was working on the back stitching on it most recently, so he might have already finished the back stitching on it, but he has also completed the piece there. All right, so that is Amid Amish Life. Then my next piece in the Amish Advancing bracket is a piece by Diane Gravener called Evening Feed. Make sure that I get that down so you can't see. I'll just take that out. Evening Feed by Diane Gravener. It's very cute. I like Diane Gravener's pieces. I don't think she's publishing anymore. But anyway, here's my chart. I did make a working copy. I will be stitching this on a piece of light blue even weave. This is a piece that I had picked up at a big box craft store. And alright, so this is just a piece of light blue even weave that I have picked up at a big box craft store. This is essentially, it's 28 count. So that's it. It's not over dyed or anything like that. I have not started it. It's a new start. So I've had this in my stash for several years, and I'm ready to start it. But this is Diane Gravener. Diane Gravener. She's known for her Amish designs. So after I spend my next night stitching on Amid Amish Life, I'm going to work on Evening Feed. Okay. Now the next bracket that I have, I am doing Pandemic and Pin Umbrella Painter. I will show you that in a minute. I've called that that bracket Push It. P for Push It. So everybody's familiar with Long Dog's Pandemic Sampler. I am doing this on a 28 count white even weave fabric that I found at that store. It's Artiste brand. It is that store's brand of Even Weave. I've had this for a while. This was a 30 by 36 inch count, or piece of 28 count Even Weave, and I personally hand dyed it with RIT dye. So it's a pretty big piece because Pandemic is pretty big. So without further ado, here is where I'm at on Pandemic. I'm not super far. I started this in 2020, not long after the pandemic came out. The pandemic pattern came out. I am doing this 1/2 using Sulky 12 weight variegated floss. You can see the variegation in the floss. This colorway is 4067, but I believe it's called Merlot. Sulky, there you go. Sulky 4067, made in Italy. This is 12 weight. So 12 weight is basically, 12 weight Sulky is basically equivalent to 2 strands of DMC floss. My piece for Pandemic is pretty large. And I started in the upper right corner. Well, actually, I lied. So I started in the middle. This is the middle here. I started in the middle right here, worked my way over to the right hand corner, and then I'm kind of working my way down and over. So I haven't worked on this in quite a few months. I'm looking forward to getting back to this because, again, this is done in sulky threads and everything like that. It's been fun to work with the Sulky because you only have to use 1 strand. So there's no worrying about having to use a laying tool to lay your threads down. So this is going to be the next bracket, the next push it bracket. So for that, to go up against Pandemic, I have another piece. This one was a kit that I had purchased on a trip that I made to California back in I want to say it was 2018. It might have been 2017, but I think it was 2018. My husband and I took a trip out to California before my stepdad passed away in 2019, and before we moved my mom out here to Ohio at the end of 2019. We went out to visit my parents, and we stopped at this needlework shop in Brea, California that has since closed. And they had this really neat kit that I hadn't seen before, so I picked it up. This is by a cross-stitch kit company known as Pin. And so this was designed by this person down here. I can't read their name. I'm not even going to try. And the kit came with fabric and floss. I can show you this. So here is the picture. It's 9 pages, and it's basically mostly full coverage. Okay. The pattern comes in this little booklet. It's a color pattern, so this is going to be interesting. It's a color pattern, but it's in this booklet. I did not like the fabric that came in the kit, so I went out and purchased my own fabric. This is from it's 32 count sea spray linen. I'm not sure if it's Zweigart linen. It doesn't have the typical red line on it, but this is sea spray linen. It is a blue linen that I am going to be using. It's just this 32 count sea spray linen that I'm going to be using. It's a blue color. They kind of match the blue color that came in the kit. And I will be using the kit floss. These are all the kit flosses. The interesting thing is the kit flosses were kind of in these bags. These are some of the extra baggies of floss that came in the kit. So, yeah, it's kind of cool. So these pin kits are really kind of neat. But anyway, so that is going up against Pandemic Long Dog by Long Dog Samplers. So that will be my new start after that. After I work on Pandemic Long Dog. It's going to be the Umbrella Painter by Pin. Okay. And my last bracket, I initially called it Lindy Lunges, but I'm now calling it 40 Lashes, the 40 count fight. I will be pitting up Saltwater Scrapbook by Lindy Stitches and the Blue Flower against Jackalopean Tapestry, a new start by Lindy Stitches. They're both done on 40 count fabric, so that is why I called it 40 Lashes, or the 40 count fight. First up is Saltwater Scrapbook by Lindy Stitches and the Blue Flower. So you may remember this. You can do them all together as this set. That is exactly how I am stitching this set of patterns. So we have the set of small patterns, and the Blue Flower is this one. Whoops, there you go. Okay. So I am stitching them all together like that. I started this last year after it came out. I did buy the kit from Lindy Stitches, I believe is where I ordered it. That came with the pattern. It came with the fabric. And it came with the project pouch. I started this in September of last year. It is on Fabrics by Stephanie Silver Mist 40 count linen using the called for Weeks Dye Works floss and DMC floss. So we have the flosses. I have the flosses on the floss drops in my kit. And so this is where I am at. So this is the square with the octopus. You can see the octopus here. It's the square with the octopus. So that is where I'm at. And you can see the fabric is really pretty. The fabric is a little too long for this piece. This piece is only probably going to come down to about here on the fabric. So I'll have extra fabric at the end, but that'll be fun. I'm looking forward to that. So this is for 40 Lashes, 40 count fight, Saltwater Scrapbook. And then my last entry into March Stitchy Madness is a piece by Lindy Stitches that you all may be familiar with. This is Jackalopean Tapestry. He's really cute. I got the fabric to go with it. This is 40 count Newcastle vintage mocha linen. You can see it's quite nice, quite brown. I got the flosses for the Jackalopean Tapestry to go with it, because you could buy the floss pack. So I bought the floss pack for Jackalopean Tapestry, and it is going on 40 count vintage mocha. This is Newcastle vintage mocha linen. So you can see here I have the flosses in there as well. This also came with a sticker, so you can put on the back of your piece when you're finished with it. So this is going to be my piece. The whole reason why I wanted the Jackalopean Tapestry is when I was in college, I went to college at the University of Wyoming in Laramie, Wyoming. I was there for 3 years. All the while growing up, my grandparents lived in Cheyenne, Wyoming, and I spent a good many of all my growing up summers there, all the way through high school and into college. So I decided when I graduated from high school that I would go to the University of Wyoming from California. I graduated high school out in California, went to the University of Wyoming as my school of choice because I could be 50 miles from my grandfather and go visit him on weekends, because we had a really good, strong relationship back then. And one of the things that the fraternities used to do to all their new pledges is they used to take them jackalope hunting. And jackalopes don't exist, y'all. It's one of those things. It is a jackrabbit with antelope ears, thus jackalope. Jackalopes don't exist, at least not that I've ever seen. But in Wyoming, jackalopes have a pretty big following, and it's kind of like an inside joke with the college kids that all the newbies from out of state get to go jackalope hunting. So when Lindy came out, or when when Lindy Stitches released this pattern, I had to go get it. Stephanie Webb, when Stephanie released the pattern, I had to go get it. So yeah, so that'll be fun to stitch. So that is going up against Saltwater Scrapbook, because it's on 40 count for 40 lashes, 40 count fight. Again, I'm gonna keep track of all the stitching, the number of stitches I do on each piece, roll some dice, and see where they end up to go on my bracket. I'm not sure which winner will show up at the end, so I'm definitely going to have to do an end of March wrap-up, or even a beginning of April wrap-up, to go through and show you who won my March Stitchy Madness bracket. Okay, so the Magazine Monthly cross-stitch group, it is a group that was designed to get people to work on their magazine projects. Thus, it's called the Magazine Monthly Challenge Group. They put out a theme for every month and an acrostic for every month. So the theme is designed to be a magazine piece that you want to work on that matches that month's theme. And then the acrostic, you can use the words and come up with any piece in your whip stash and work on it, or new starts or whatever. So March's Magazine Monthly Challenge this month, the theme is animals. And I'm going to pick Amid Amish Life because it has animals in it, farm animals. And it is also on my March Stitchy Madness bracket and also my Whip Go bracket. So I'm going to be triple dipping this Amid Amish Life. My goal for this Magazine Monthly Challenge is 500 stitches. The acrostic is furry or friend, or you could do both. So I have yet to pick my projects that coincide with these letters, furry or friend. So I have yet to do that. Also in Magazine Monthly Challenge, they have a monthly birthday month challenge theme and acrostic that you can pick. The birthday theme is your choice. You choose it, and the acrostic is party. My birthday is March 18th, so I have yet to decide. I originally thought I wanted to do It's a Party and Desserts, but I don't know if I have a magazine piece that I want to start. I haven't really dug around yet and figured it out. It's only the 3rd of the month. You know, the 18th is kind of in the middle of the month, so I think I have a little bit of time to figure it out. I'm not sure if I'm even going to do the monthly one this month, but yeah, so that is on my possible plans. Magical Stitches Mystery Year. We are reading book number 2 in the Amanda Lee Embroidery Murder Mystery series. This is called, I forget what it's called. It starts with Stitch. Do I have it written down? Stitch Me Deadly is the name of the book. It's book number 2. I don't have it here with me to show you. But anyway, so I started reading that on Monday night. It was after midnight Monday night, so technically it was the 1st. But book number 2 is this year. So we are doing, for the Stitching Estate Retreat, we have to stitch on a project that starts with the letter in the words breakfast room. A project was something you could use as a centerpiece for the snack table. I'm probably going to use Cookie Exchange for that. Stitch on a Whip that reminds you of a song. I'm probably going to use the Sing a Sampler Do Re Mi by Silver Creek Samplers for that. Stitch on a Whip you think would be in a national art, would go in the National Art Gallery. I don't know. It could probably be any stitch piece, really. I don't know. So that's for Magical Stitches. For Pop Culture Stitching Challenges, the acrostic this month is Leprechaun. I have a few of the letters picked. Let It Snow is one. That was one of my February Whip Go pieces. Easter Egg Trio by Just Cross Stitch, April 2022. I don't have that down here, but it's a small piece from that issue of Just Cross Stitch, April 2022, that I was going to probably start. I don't have none of the fabric. I have none of the floss, so I might not do it. P for Leprechaun is Pandemic. The C in Leprechaun is Cookie Exchange. The H in Leprechaun is for Hidden Harbor. The A in Leprechaun is for Amid Amish Life. And those are the only ones I picked out. Also on Instagram, if you go to Instagram, you can follow the hashtag Common Threaded Stitcher. It is a thing that was started by Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitching, where they post prompts every day, and you can post about the prompts. Day 1 was introduce yourself. I didn't get to what day 2 was yesterday because it was kind of a weird day. Didn't look at day 3 either today. So if you go to Instagram and search the hashtag excuse me, Common Threaded Stitcher, you can see what's going on. It goes for 31 days, the entire month of March. And follow it and see what everybody's been doing for Common Threaded Stitcher. I haven't decided this year yet if I'll participate. You don't have to participate every day. It's just something fun that the stitching community is doing on Instagram. So, Whip Go weekend is March 11th through 13th. International Hermit and Stitch Weekend is March 17th through the 20th. Again, it's over my birthday weekend, so I might actually participate in that. The Whip Go draw for April is March 27th. That is all I have on my stitching calendar. Here is my stitching calendar. So this week in Magical Stitches Mystery Retreat, we have to stitch on something you would consider an antique, something related to tea, and something the police would find sketchy. So the goal is 100 stitches on each of those pieces, or 200 for your choice. It's Thursday, and I haven't started on any of these tasks this week, so yep. Next week is 300 stitches minimum on a whip considered a sampler. Well, guess what? I think I get to do Pandemic next week because Pandemic is a sampler by Long Dog. So yeah, so this week I have to stitch on something I would consider an antique, something related to tea, and something the police would find sketchy. The only one that I really have anything 100% for sure that would fit is something related to tea, and I'll probably do cookie exchange. So I'll probably drop in 100 stitches on cookie exchange this weekend on top of my March Stitchy Madness. So yeah, that I think is everything I've got. Oh, creative free cross stitch challenge group by Creatively Crafting. They released their March Stitching Challenge. They're only sending them out via email. You can go to freecrossstitchchallengefacebookgroup.com or go to creativelycrafting.com to sign up. There's the information, creativelycrafting.com to sign up. And they post the file. So March's stitches is 5,000 stitches. And you get bonus points if you stitch an additional 1,000. They give you a stitching log so you can track how many hours you stitched, how many stitches you stitched, and if you finished anything. I might actually have a StitchCon finish this year. And they also do the March Stitcho, which is like a bingo board with different goals every month. Such as start something new. I've already done that. Stitch 50 stitches each day for 7 days in a row. Haven't done that yet. Spend 30 minutes stitching, use some light effects thread, stitch both weekend days, design a small pattern on the grid paper at the back, virtually stitch with a friend, share progress in the Facebook group, you know, different things like that. And then you have your prize tally at the end of the month. You get prizes, and you get put in drawings at the end of the year, depending on how many points you gather while you're stitching. Put that around. Okay. And that is it for everything stitching and stitching plans. So yeah, that was just under an hour, you guys. I was hoping it would be a half an hour, but it is what it is. I have another little video. Hopefully I'll be able to I've added the other video of the haul that I made earlier to this to show you some of the stuff that I got before, you know, since my last video. If I forgot to do that, I'm really sorry. I did record some additional haul like a week or two ago, but I don't remember if I'll be able to get that in here. So this video is actually going to be just over an hour long. Hopefully you found something in this video that you like, and hopefully you got some inspiration. I'm going to be trying to plug away through some March Stitchy Madness and just kind of getting back to life in general. And hopefully things will work out pretty good for Mom and I and Dylan. So anyway, that being said, thank you very much for stopping by. It was good to visit with you today. Thank you for everything that you do. One of the other things I wanted to point out, there's a lot of stuff going on in the world. You all are probably well aware of one of the biggest things going on in other parts of the world. There's quite a few designers that are publishing free projects in support of and would like you to support. There's a big call out there for you to go out and support Ukrainian cross-stitch designers on Etsy, and also support any way you can, financially or stitch-wise. I went out and I found this Ukrainian designer on Etsy called Stitchy Princess Black. Her thing is stitchyprincess.etsy.com. She had this pattern on her website that I thought was really cute. This is called the Fox. It was fairly inexpensive, you guys. It was under $5. So I went ahead and purchased the PDF. If you're going to purchase from Ukrainian Etsy designers or Ukrainian designers, please, whatever you do, do not buy paper PDFs, because you don't know when you're ever going to receive your paper PDF from that region. I don't know if their mail's stopping. I don't know if their mail has stopped. I don't know if there's going to be shipping delays into or out of that country. So if you're going to go support a Ukrainian designer on Etsy or any Ukrainian designers, please try and get the PDF. And one other note too, I didn't know this until somebody pointed it out. On Etsy, if you purchase a PDF pattern, the designer is not paid for the pattern until you actually go download your PDF file. So as soon as you buy a pattern like this, go and download the PDF file. That's what I did. So hopefully Stitchy Princess on Etsy, Stitchy Princess Black, got the money for my purchase. It's not a lot, but I'm helping out. Another person that designed something that was really pretty in support of Ukraine. This is a free pattern. It's by Clayton Cross Stitch. This was designed by David Jackson. Support for Ukraine. This is another one called Stand with Ukraine, free cross-stitch pattern designed by Maria Bravko. Thank you for your support. I don't have a color print off of this, but it's sunflowers, and this is Ukrainian blue and yellow in the heart. And that's just another copy of the fox. So, just a couple of patterns that I have picked up this last week in support of Ukrainian designers. All right, so that's all I have to talk to you about for this month, or so far this month. I hopefully will be back in another week or two to talk to you about more updates on March Stitchy Madness, trying to get some of the bracket done before I actually come back and get to you or get you an update. Hopefully I'll have this stitch card, small done. There I go with the yawning again. But anyway, oh, I wanted to show you too. So Let It Snow was a piece that I was working on for February. My goal was to finish it. I didn't get anywhere close to finishing it. I got some of the letters done on Let It Snow. That's it. So this was going to go on my March Stitchy Madness, but it's not February anymore. And it's getting into warmer weather, and I don't want to think about snow. So that is that. And that's all I got for you this week. So until next time, keep on keeping on, because that's all we can do. Keep your prayers for all the things going on in the world. And all the other stuff going on in the Stitchy community. There's been a little bit of controversy in the last couple of weeks in the stitching community. Some of it has to deal with Nashville Needlework Market. If you've been following that at all, yeah, it's crazy. You know, everybody matters. Black Lives Matter. Just, you know, there's a lot of change that we need to affect in the world. And just do what you can. Do what your heart leads you to do. Okay? And just be there to support your fellows. Alright? Just do what you can. Whether it just be to stitch, whether it be to, you know, pray quietly. If you can donate money, you donate money. You know, if just follow your heart and do what you can. Okay? That's all I'm going to say about all that stuff. There was a lot going on the last couple of weeks. And a lot going on this last week and a half. So, yeah, just, you know, kind of keep your head up. Try and keep plugging forward. If you need to talk to somebody, I encourage you to get out there and talk to somebody. Because you're worth it. And you matter. Okay. Anyway, that's all I've got to say. Hopefully this video won't be too terribly long with the additional video that I have to attach on. But anyway, take care, and we'll see you hopefully in another week or two. All right? Take care. Bye.
Hi. This is us. I got Dylan, me, and Mom. And tonight we're coming to you live with a taste test of Brock's taco truck jelly beans. I saw this on Facebook a day or two ago, sent it to Dylan, and we went to CVS tonight, and they had some. So we bought a bag of taco truck jelly beans. So now we're going to open them up. The scissors are right there.
They don't want you to open them up.
No.
Toy using.
All right. So, ooh. They smell like just a bunch of jelly beans. Dylan's smelling them.
No, they don't.
Mama's smelling them.
No, they don't.
They smell like jelly beans to me. Just a bunch of jelly beans. All right, so we have jelly beans. There's a bunch of different flavors. Okay, so according to the bag, we have the flavors right there. Okay, bag. Flavors. The flavors are margarita, churro, salsa, guacamole, beef taco, and horchata. All right, so here you go. I'm going to pour some on the plate. You can see them on the plate here. There's all these different colors. We need to make sure we get 3 of each color. Okay, so we have this kind of like green speckled one. I think I know what that is.
That's guacamole.
The green speckled one, the bright green one? I think that's margarita.
The bright green one is margarita. The margarita is a solid color.
Okay, then we have this greenish, kind of light green color. Dylan says that's probably margarita. Okay. We have the white color. The white color is horchata, probably. So, horchata. Then we have this speckled red. Tomato.
Salsa.
Oh, it's salsa. Salsa tomato. Okay. Then we have this kind of tannish, speckledish color.
That would be beef taco.
Beef taco. Mom's mouth is watering, I can tell. And then we have the dark brown, which is churro. Okay, so we have our 3. I'll give Dylan the big one. Just,
I like churro.
yeah. Do you want the big one?
Yeah.
All right. So we're trying to decide if we should do it blind, like close our eyes and do it. Probably should. All right. Or if we should do it by color. There's what, 6? Four. What color are you missing? The light green. That one. Okay. So we each have our sets of colors. I think we're just going to do it by color. All right. So we're going to do the light brown one first.
Start with the absolute worst.
Okay. So everybody has to lean in so everybody could get their reactions. So, all right, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh.
Ooh.
Oh my God.
That was what?
That was taco.
Beef taco.
It actually just tastes kind of burnt to me.
Miss Alex, this lettuce is burnt. I have water. Thank God. Oh. That was horrible. Ugh. Okay, I'm not going to do the red one. Let's do the light green. Not the speckled one, the light one. So we're going to do the light green.
Margarita.
All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's much better.
Mm-hmm.
I like that one.
Not bad.
It's not a very strong margarita. I was hoping for a little stronger.
It's not bad.
Not bad. I'd eat that. All right. Okie dokie. Let's go for the white one.
Hang on, let me get rid of the out of my mouth.
Mom's still chewing. Char wants in on the action. No, down. Down.
Okay, the white one. Here we go.
So we're doing the white one. Okay, ready? Yeah, okay.
That's supposed to be what?
Horchata.
Not
I
bad.
kind of taste it.
Kind of milky, a little sweet,
A little vanilla-y.
a little vanilla-y. Yeah,
It's horchata.
horchata. Okay. All right, let's do the red one.
There is no debating this one. It is salsa.
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 This woman couldn't even eat her tomato candy from Japan.
That tomato candy was gross. All right, so we have
And you
salsa.
expect salsa jelly beans to be better.
Oh yeah. There's cilantro in this salsa. Oh God.
And I'm
Garlic.
I'm not a...
Oh God, and garlic. Dylan's like, Dylan choked his down. Oh my God, that was like garlic. The first note I hit was cilantro. Wow.
I don't like cilantro. That was... Oh.
Wow. Oh God. Okay. that was pretty bad. All right. So let's do the next one. I'm a little scared for. Let's do the green speckled one.
Which is?
Guacamole. This is the one that terrifies me.
Don't even. I'm not tasting the guacamole.
No.
Tastes like some weird fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Avocado. No.
No, it doesn't taste like guacamole.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't
You're
taste
right.
that bad, but it doesn't taste like guacamole.
No.
Okay, a little on the after. A little bit on the after. There's a little hint of guacamole in it, but that didn't taste like guacamole.
No.
That
They
wasn't
were-
bad.
They were off target on that one.
Yeah, really off. All right, last one is churro.
I got the big giant churro one.
Move it over in the middle. Dylan got that big one. Look at that. His is super big. Ready? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Just tastes like churro.
Yep. It does. Lightly churro. That's not bad. I was really
Wish
surprised.
it had more cinnamon in it.
Yeah. All right. I was really surprised by the guacamole. I figured that would be disgusting. The tomato was disgusting. The beef taco was bad.
No.
But all the rest of them were pretty good.
Unfortunately, as you can see from our random sampling, a lot of them are salsa.
Yeah, we got a lot of salsa in our bag by the red. But, ugh. Thank you for the taste test, everybody. Bye.
Bye.